Okay, so let's not beat around the bush here. My Dress Up Darling is a show that is very heavy in the fan service department. Just look at this shot. They knew exactly what they were doing, but I don't think that this show stops at just that. Sure, there's a moment where I feel like the anime just halts progression for the sake of fan service. The manga is definitely plastic wrapped, but My Dress Up Darling also has a message that I think is worth listening to. It's a message that I needed to hear when I was younger, and sometimes it's just something that you need to hear again. So trust me, it's not just fan service. It's not just a horny manga. Like, it's a good show. I think there's some real substance here. Why are you looking at me like that? My Dress Up Darling is about a boy named Gojo who really enjoys Hina dolls. His grandfather makes Hina dolls for a living, and the first time that dear old Gramps showed him the dolls, it was love at first sight. He now wanted to make dolls as beautiful as the one his grandfather made, so he starts grinding and practicing the craft of making Hina dolls. But one day this girl came up to him and said, "Hey yo, that shit's cringe. Why are you playing with dolls? That stuff is for girls. You are a boy. I hate you." She actually says that. She says, "I hate you." This has become a recurring nightmare for Gojo, and now he truly believes that he is cringe. So his sewing machine breaks. This means that he now has to use the sewing machine that is at his school. Luckily, there's no one else here, so he has the entire room to himself, and no one will know his embarrassing secret. He is greeted by Kitagawa. She is a very bright, cheerful, and popular girl who feels like the complete opposite of Gojo. Surely one of the most popular girls is going to roast him for his hobby, right? Well, we actually get an interesting reaction from Kitagawa. She is amazed by Gojo's ability, and she even takes an interest in his hobby. This is really surprising for Gojo. For most of his life, he has thought that his hobbies are so different from everybody else's that he shouldn't even talk to other people because he would just make everyone else feel awkward. He would only be a hindrance. But Kitagawa is the first person to say, "Hey, that's pretty cool." She also decides to show him her own hobby. Kitagawa has a character that she really enjoys from a video game called Saint Slippery's Academy for Girls, the Young Ladies of the Humiliation Club, Debauched Miracle Life 2. And that character's name is Shizuku. Kitagawa loves Shizuku and she wants to cosplay as this character, but she doesn't know how to make clothing at all. Gojo sees her first attempt at cosplay and he sees in her eyes how hard she worked on her first cosplay. Then he proceeds to roast the shit out of her. Hey yo, what is this? You didn't even do the lining. You couldn't suck this bad even if you tried. You haven't even done any reverse stitching. You look like you are in a burlap sack. Girl, you are trash. Then she starts crying and he feels pretty bad. I think everyone feels bad at this point. Just look at that pouty face. Okay, it's pretty obvious that she is unable to make a proper cosplay because she never learned how to sew, but cosplaying is something that Kitagawa is very passionate about. It's something that she still desperately wants to do. So she asks Gojo if he would be willing to help her make a cosplay outfit. He remembers everything that he had heard her say prior. That's so awesome. You know how to use a sewing machine, Gojo? You just don't go making fun of things people clearly like. You need to speak up about how you are feeling for your own sake. He realizes that Kitagawa is the type of person that could accept him and his hobby. She could accept him for who he truly is. He agrees to help with her cosplay and Kitagawa is in pure bliss. She will finally be able to become Shizuku. Then they proceed to do nothing but take measurements for half the next episode. But I swear there are wholesome moments. This anime has a good message, I swear. This anime has the underlying message of be true to yourself. You should be able to like what you like. Hobbies aren't gender specific. Who cares if someone says that a hobby is only for a boy or only for a girl? You should be able to like what you like despite what people say. Also, who cares if someone thinks your hobby is weird? As long as it's not hurting anyone and you are enjoying yourself, you should be able to do it. Watching anime is becoming more popular and widely accepted, and I am very happy about that. But there was a time when it wasn't. There was a time where if I ever brought up the subject of anime, I would instantly be attacked for liking something so weird. So I chose to hide my love for anime and in turn seal away a part of who I was. I watched anime in my closet on a laptop, and you know, it doesn't feel good to do that. But there is a phrase that has stuck with me. Be who you are and say what you feel. Because those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. Dr. Seuss. Man, Dr. Seuss be dropping bars! This is an idea that the anime pushes. You should do what makes you happy, and if a person is a true friend, then they will accept you as you are. But the moment that really struck a chord in me happened in episode 4. At this time, Gojo has agreed to make Kitagawa the cosplay for an event, and the event is coming up in just 2 weeks. He still has school, and he even has midterms coming up next week. On top of this, his grandpa, who normally is the main one that runs the Hina doll shop, fell over and hurt himself. It was nothing serious, but his grandpa is resting at Gojo's uncle's house until he feels better. So now Gojo is left to run the shop, finish Kitagawa's outfit in 2 weeks, and do well on his midterms. And he decides to tackle all of these problems on his own. You see him really pushing himself to be able to complete all of these goals. Until one night you see him lying on his floor, not really knowing what to do. He's exhausted, and he doesn't know if he will be able to finish the cosplay in time. He looks at his brushes and realizes that he hasn't used them in days. Gojo already wasn't very good at painting faces on Hina dolls, so how rusty is he now? He thinks to himself, if I can't handle this, maybe I'm just not cut out to be a Kashirashi. He has been skipping practice to finish this cosplay, but it doesn't matter. It seems as though he still won't finish in time. Just because you love something doesn't mean that there is any guarantee that you will be good at it. You will never be the best at anything when you first pick it up, because there are already so many people who have put hundreds or even thousands of hours into that craft. So you need to be willing to put in just as much time as they have. There will always be a rough spot in any hobby that you are trying to improve at. Maybe you want to be one of the best League of Legends players. Maybe you want to win your first fighting game tournament. These are not easy tasks, and there will always be a sticking point, a point where your progress seems to have stopped. It will be hard, and it will be frustrating. But working on this cosplay is something that he really enjoys. He remembers a conversation that he had with his grandpa years ago. He asked him, "Hey, don't you get sick of making these Hina dolls every single day?" His grandpa says, "Well, yeah, you're right. It's difficult. Loving something doesn't mean that you are going to be gifted at it. But then again, because you love something is the reason why you are able to push through and stick it out when things get rough. It is always worth it when I get to see that customer smile when I hand them their brand new doll." Yes, what he is attempting to do is difficult, but sometimes shit is just hard. And the only way to continue doing what you love is to just do it. It doesn't matter how frustrated you feel or how exhausted you are. This is what you want to do, right? Gojo gets back up and starts working again. He's trying to cut the thread, but he can't find his scissors. He almost breaks again. But then he says, you know what? Who needs scissors? Not me. Gojo finishes the cosplay. Now he can finally rest. Don't worry, improvement is usually never linear, and it sometimes feels like you are making zero progress. But if you truly love what you are doing, then there is only one thing for you to do. Whatever your hobby is, I hope you keep at it, and I hope that you continue to improve. See, I told you my Dress Up Darling was more than just fan service. It's on some borderline Gurren Lagann type shit. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you want to hear me talk about anime live and in person, you can catch me live on Twitch. I also have a Discord that you can feel free to join. All of the socials are linked in the description down below. Thank you very much for watching. And just remember, you don't have to believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the me that believes in you, and I'll see you in the next video.